Aloha everyone, and welcome back to the Kilauea Eruption and Leilani Estates update for July 14th, 2018. There really hasn't been a lot of change in activity or dynamics of the flow or the eruption at Fissure 8 since yesterday. There's a few little things I'm going to cover, and then we're going to go and talk about the lava river and the connection with the collapse explosion events up at the summit. So first, let's get into the basic update, which will be really quick tonight. The USGS reports for Saturday, July 14th, 2018 at 11:23 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time, Fissure 8 continues to erupt lava into the Perch Channel leading northeastward from the vent. Lava levels in the upper channel increased for several hours after the summit collapse explosion event yesterday at 7:08 p.m. and returned to lower levels this morning. A short-lived overflow of the channel near the vent spread east-southeast, but did not advance beyond the existing flow field. The channelized flow west of Kapoho Crater continues to be the main ocean entry at the southern edge of the flow front this morning. The southern margin of the flow was about 1 kilometer or 0.6 miles from Isaac Hale Park this morning. Despite no visible surface connection to the Fissure 8 channel, lava continues to ooze out at several places along the 6 kilometer or 3.7 mile wide flow front into the ocean. No other fissures are active this morning, or were active as of this morning. There has also been no changes on Highway 130 reported as well. And up at the Kilauea Volcano Summit, earthquakes in the summit area have resumed following yesterday's collapse explosion event at 7:08 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, which had an energy equivalent to a 5.3 magnitude earthquake. The current rate of earthquakes ranges from 25 to 35 per hour and is expected to continue leading up to another collapse explosion event, which is expected to occur this evening or early Sunday morning. Inward slumping of the rim and walls of Halemaumau continues in response to the ongoing subsidence at the summit. So as you can see by the report, because that pretty much covers it, there's really been not any significant changes or anything remarkable to report today. I just want to show you all the thermal imaging map for July 14th. That was done at 6 a.m. this morning. Real quick, just to kind of give you an idea of where the flow fronts are to the south of the field there. Doesn't give us a really good idea of the correlation to Isaac Hale Park. Our flow front map is dated July 12th, so it's 48 hours out of date, but that is what it is. Okay, now let's talk about the Fissure 8 lava river and its correlation to the summit collapse explosion events. It's actually pretty interesting to think about, but they are definitely correlated, and I've suspected that when the summit began to collapse and I noticed that Fissure 8 became pretty dominant and consistent, and you know, I noticed that there was, you know, changes in the flow, but I wasn't sure if it was volume or speed or what, because, you know, I've talked about it in previous videos, as y'all know, and, you know, I had a discussion. I put the three videos side by side, and, you know, really couldn't see anything there, but I knew there had to be a correlation. I don't know, something was telling me, hey, there's a pattern here, and I just can't see it. So, but now we have USGS emitting and announcing that there seems to be a correlation, which is something I think that they were surprised by. I haven't actually talked to a USGS person directly about that, but if there was a correlation and they already knew about it, it was something I think that they would have talked about in some of their reports and at the community meetings and things like that when they give updates. But that's okay. Hey, that's what science is. We're learning the things that we don't know, so we can't fault them for not knowing something until they've had a chance to learn it. And then if they have a chance to learn it and they still don't know it, then that's a different story. So anyways, let's get on to it. I'm going to show you all some videos here of the lava river and that I took yesterday, July 13th. I wanted to put them up last night, but there's a lot of editing involved to really show you what I want to show you. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so what we're looking at here is 4 separate videos that I took on Friday the 13th. Now you know what I was doing on Friday the 13th. What were you doing? Anyways, the first one top left, the video was started at 1:07 p.m. the one on the top right at 121, the one on the bottom left at 141, and the one on the bottom right at 157. The actual start times aren't necessarily what's the word I'm looking for? Deliberate. They were just when I noticed that activity had changed from one point to the other as I was recording, and I would start recording the new activity, which is why I'm wanting to show these side by side like this, because this is showing actual proof of the change in the flow dynamic compared to previous videos of the river where it was just a constant, steady, rapid stream with lava fish jumping and stuff like that. So looking at the top left, we see that they're just to the right through the dead trees in the middle of that image. We see the river flowing down, but it dips down below the lava bank, and we can't see it go anymore. But about what would it be? Let me do the math. 14 minutes later, you can see that has changed. Now we can see the lava river, or the top of the lava river, flowing all the way across that open viewpoint between the trees. And then if we looked at the bottom left at 1:41 p.m., which was 20 minutes later, we can see that the level or the volume of that flow has definitely increased because it's much further above visually above the level of the lava, or excuse me, of the levee. And then of course if we look to the last one, the bottom right hand corner, which was started, do the math real quick, 16 minutes later, we can see that the river has become a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for, agitated. It's bouncing around up and down. We've got lava splatters or lava fish flying in the air, etc. So right here is evidence that there is a dynamic flow now versus a steady constant flow. And this is where the summit collapse explosions come into play. What USGS is saying is most likely happening is when there is a collapse explosion event up at the summit, and the land quickly deflates and drops in, filling the void created by the exiting magma from the chamber. This adds an extra little pressure, I guess, to the reservoir, because all that weight's now sitting, I guess, on top of raw magma. I really don't know. But it causes a surge to go down the line. It's almost like you got your water hose running and everything's just fine, but then the pump kicks on and all of a sudden the water comes flying out of the hose, and and then slowly goes back to what you're used to as some of the pressure that was just put in the tank is removed. I guess that's an okay analogy, but that's basically what's happening now. Some of the numbers I've been hearing about how long does it take for this surge to come down the line and exit fissure 8. From what I've been hearing, it at one point it was 60 to 90 minutes, and another seems to be 2 hours, which tells me that there's really not a good consensus on what a good estimate would be. I would think that it would all depend on the actual speed that the magma's flowing through the system, divided by, multiplied, whatever the math is that needs to be done, but added with the added pressure as well, and that would basically give us a number that we could use to determine distance, because when pressure goes up, the speed would go up. So we're going to see that pressure wave from the collapse propagate down the system and out of fissure 8 in the overall volume and speed of or velocity of the exiting lava. So that's that. I just want to show you all that. I hope you enjoyed it. It's interesting to watch. I've watched these videos a few times, and yeah, good stuff. Alright, well, that'll do it for tonight. Remember, everybody, thumbs up the video, subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell icon for notifications of new videos. Check out my photography and stuff on my Smug Mug and Redbubble account, links in the descriptions. Follow me on Twitter if you want. We can chit-chat back and forth and share pictures there as well. So again, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Love your comments. And this has been the Leilani Estates update for July 14th, 2018.